Hello investors, my name is Dehan and welcome back to your number one place for all your investing needs. So in today's video, we're going to be discussing the stock Pfizer. So we're going to be going over some major news that Pfizer is coming out with. So obviously first we have the Rona vaccine that is supposed to be, they're supposed to be having an advisory committee meeting on December 10th, 2020, which is on Thursday. The second thing we're going to talk about is just a price action and if Pfizer is currently a buy at the $42 mark. And the third thing we're going to talk about is the effectiveness of the shot, how it's affecting the people that are taking it, and just the overall expectation that we're going to be seeing from this Rona vaccine. Now, before we get into all of that, go ahead and smash that like button. Let's get 100 plus likes on this video. Also, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and turn on that bell notification so you get notified every time I make a new video. Leave a comment below. Are you trading any of these vaccine stocks like Moderna, Pfizer, Novavax, any of the other ones, Johnson & Johnson? What stocks are you trading right now? And what do you think a vaccine is going to do for the market? Do you think the market is going to continue to start booming on higher since we're going to be having that reopening of the economy and a lot of stocks like Disney and others will start to boom? Or do you think that we're going to have a sell-off type of situation? So first thing is first, right here, we're going to be looking at the price. So currently, Pfizer is trading at $42.56. It was up about $1.31 or about 3.18% today, which is really good actually for Pfizer to move about 3% because this stock does not move that much. It doesn't move, it moves about a 1% move. So a 3% move on this stock today is actually a pretty big jump. So when the stock opened up, it was trading down here about $41.48, made a high here of about $42.71, technically 77 cents, which was a 52-week high. Now our previous all-time high is around the $43 area, which is actually a few years ago. It was right here, about $43.86, so about the 44 area. Now, if we can break through that $44 area, we can make new all-time highs, and that would be good for Pfizer, especially if Pfizer can hit $45 per share. So right now, obviously in the afternoon we had a little bit of a sell-off, and then into the close we had another pushback up, which is good. After hours, we're up about 1% actually right now. So the stock is currently trading at $43 as it was up about 44 cents after hours as well. So we're going to be going into Wednesday, hoping that this trend continues up and trade into the high 43s. And then Thursday, we have the committee with the Rona vaccine. Hopefully it gets approved. Things are looking positive for us right now that it's going that direction. And with a positive pass, that could definitely boost up the stock price. And that's something we're going to be taking a look at. So here's an article that we're going to be going over with, and it says the FDA says Pfizer's Rona vaccine is safe and effective, but trial participants warn of intense symptoms after the second shot. So let's get into some of this detail and see what goes on in here. So the Pfizer-BioNTech Rona vaccine is both safe and effective according to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. In a report released Tuesday morning, the FDA indicates that it could greenlight the country's first Rona vaccine within a few days. If Pfizer's shot is granted an emergency use authorization or EUA, the immunizations, which are administered in 2 doses about 3 weeks apart, could start as soon as next week. So there's going to be 2 different doses coming from this one, and obviously it's going to take part in in a span of 21 days. So that is actually some major news that I was not aware of, that there was going to be 2 different ones that you have to take. Many people are now wondering whether this would just be like getting the flu vaccine, and the short answer here says no, not really. So one Pfizer participant told CNBC that after the second shot, he woke up with chills, shaking so hard he cracked a tooth. It hurt or to even just lay in my bed sheet, he said. Other experienced headaches and fatigue. The FDA said that while side effects of the Pfizer vaccine are common, there are no specific safety concerns identified that would preclude issuance of an EUA. And then right here we go with be prepared for the second shot. The Pfizer vaccine is one of the 4 U.S.-backed candidates in phase 3 trials. Next up is one from the U.S. biotech firm Moderna. So we all know Moderna is about 1 or 2 weeks late, so it's a little bit behind Pfizer, but it's also submitted its EUA application. Now, we also know that obviously Pfizer, we had the UK started off with their vaccines, and this morning we had a lady. I believe she was 90 years old. She was the first one to receive the vaccine. Both companies have said that their vaccine could result in side effects similar to mild Rona symptoms. Think of muscle pain, chills, and headaches, obviously. So obviously this second dose is what's having some people worried. After the injection, I had the same side effects as the first, localized pain and stiffness, but it was a little bit worse. My arm got sore faster, and by the time I got home, I started feeling fatigued, and like anyone would feel if they were coming down with the flu. So they're feeling a little bit of symptoms after that. And then this right here, we said, and it says, I quote, I developed a low-grade fever and had chills that evening was rough. So now we're going to be looking here is how an mRNA vaccine works. Frontrunners, Pfizer and Moderna build their candidates with a new kind of technology that's never been licensed in the U.S. Messenger RNA vaccines, called mRNA for short, aren't like your normal flu vaccines. So typically a vaccine puts a weakened or an activated virus into our bodies to trigger an immune response, which then produces antibodies. Those antibodies are what ultimately protect us from getting infected if we were encountering the real thing. So a mRNA vaccine, on the other hand, is essentially just a piece of the genetic code that contains instructions for our body. The mRNA tells our cells to make a protein, the same protein that is the spike on top of the actual coronavirus. This is what triggers the immune response in these type of vaccines. So even though some trial participants reported Rona-like symptoms, it is impossible to contract the coronavirus from the vaccine because the mRNA vaccine that Pfizer and Moderna are making don't use the live virus. So that's some good news. Obviously, you cannot get the coronavirus from the actual vaccine because they're not using the live virus, which is a good thing. Dr. Hannah L. Haley, who oversees a clinical trial of Moderna's vaccine candidate, said one major benefit of the mRNA technology is how fast it is to make. The attractiveness of it is the speed with which it can be manufactured once we know the sequence of the virus. With the traditional flu vaccine, you have to first grow the virus in an egg, then deactivate the virus, and finally put it into vaccine vials with either mRNA or recombinant DNA technology, explained El Sahli. The Rona vaccine faster manufacture timeline is key as distributors look to expedite distribution to the U.S. population. So obviously we know, there was some controversy over the Pfizer vaccine and the government going on, so we're going to get into that down here. So Moderna said in August it is charging between $32 and $37 per dose for its vaccine. Perhaps, that's a discount right there. Pfizer, on the other hand, is more affordable. It is reporting about $20 per dose. The U.S. has secured 100 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine, which is enough to vaccinate 50 million people, obviously, because you have to get 2 shots. So there's 2 different, that you're going to get in that 3-week span. So 100 million doses divided by 2 is 50 million people. But to achieve the herd immunity, experts say about 70% of the population needs to be vaccinated or have natural antibodies. That's about 462 million doses for the herd immunity and an estimated 660 million doses for everyone in the country. So if we're gonna, get this Rona down, we need a lot more. We need about 6 times more the doses that we have currently. And obviously, Pfizer said that right now for 2020 they're a little bit behind. They're not gonna be producing as much as it was expected. But 2021 they're gonna be boosting up their production and getting those doses to us. So right here, a debate over unblinding the control group. So both Pfizer and Moderna are conducting double-blind trials, which means that half the participants receive a placebo and the other half receive the actual vaccine. Because the trials are ongoing, it also means that the patients don't know which group they are in. So obviously this is something to make sure that the actual vaccine is working. Some of them are not getting anything, they're just getting a fake dosage, which means they want to make sure that the vaccine is working. So there's a debate raging among experts about whether to give the control group the vaccine. The FDA isn't too keen on the idea of dosing the placebo group, which some scientists are making the case that they should be moved. They should be moved higher on the list as thanks for the service. But this kind of break in the trial protocol would interfere with the integrity of the trial. So for now, participants such as Baltavel remain in the dark as to whether they're actually protected against the virus. A person can still present symptoms as Baltavel did, even if they are in the control group. It's the placebo effect. But either way, Blatov said that he's glad he had the opportunity to participate in the effort to protect the world against the pandemic. So obviously, you guys have heard about these stories where somebody is taking some medicine and, you give them a placebo and they believe that they're drinking that medicine. So in their mind, they think that they're drinking it and they feel fine, even though they're just taking a fake and actually they don't feel anything, but it's all in your mind. So you're going to test that out with the Rona vaccine, I guess, to see, the placebo effect, to see the different 2 groups, to see how it affects them and, how the vaccine actually works on the real patients that we're using it on, and then obviously how the placebo is working as well. And now, finally, the last thing we're going to do is look at the Pfizer, price and see, do I think that Pfizer is actually still a buy? So that's the main actually thing. Everybody's worried about the Rona, vaccine, but how is this going to affect the price action? So in our dividend portfolio, in our health sector, we do actually have Pfizer. So if we take a look right here, we have about $4,402 worth of Pfizer right now. We have about 103 shares at a $36 average price right now. It's trading at $42.56, like we said. So do I believe that Pfizer is currently a buy? Yeah, why not? Because the stock is actually trading at a little bit higher than the price that it was trading before the Rona actually started happening. So this stock is still not at all-time highs. We're about $1 or $2 away from the all-time high, and I think that this stock is worth so much more. And obviously, it is a dividend player as well. So it does have a dividend, which is another beautiful reason why I own this stock. It has a dividend of about 3.5%, a little bit higher than that. And I think that this stock is actually a great, long-term hold. So for me personally, I do own it in my dividend portfolio, and I plan to hold it, and I bought even more actually in the previous weeks, because if this stock continues to grow and it's my dividend player, in 10, 20 years, I'm going to be gaining so much money in dividends that I can go ahead and reinvest back into my portfolio. So I definitely think that Pfizer is definitely a buy in my opinion, especially with some news that could happen on Thursday. Obviously, if everything gets approved, this stock could definitely be running up. We could see a few percent gains on this stock. Hopefully we can reach about the $45 area, which would be nice, because this stock, it is a big company. It's not going to move crazy like these other stocks. I mean, you see Moderna rising $20, $30 in a day. Pfizer does not do that. You're never going to see Pfizer rise up $20 or $30 in a day. But that is just something you're going to have to deal with, and obviously, yeah. So I think that Pfizer is definitely a great buying opportunity, in my opinion. I think that if we get approved for this vaccine on Thursday and things start to go smooth, and once the patients start to get it in the United States, Pfizer is going to benefit greatly from this, and the government is obviously going to back this, and this is a good thing. So, what do you guys think about the Rona vaccine? What do you guys think about Pfizer and just all overall, the procedure and all that? Leave a comment below, letting me know your opinion. Smash that like button. Let's get 100 plus likes on this video. Subscribe to the channel for more content and more updates on this news that is coming out right now. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Goodbye.